Good day, one and all. My name is Kathy, and welcome to this episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. Today, I am making a challenge card from GinaK Designs. They recently had their 200,000 subscriber YouTube party, where Gina's husband Tom made a card that was just made out of abstract cutout shapes, and they have challenged us to do the same, and you submit them and there's a possibility of winning a gift card from GinaK Designs. But I just wanted to give it a go. If you haven't watched that, really watch that. He just used cut out shapes for paper. He used a few stencils and an ink dauber and went away with it, and he made a really nice card. Okay, so I'm taking up that challenge. I'm using a pink card. This is 10 inches by 7 inches. I scored it at 5-inch, folded it, and creased it with my bone folder. And then I have a piece of white cardstock that is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and that will go on the inside. And I may decorate that up a little bit today too. Now I chose a dark gray cardstock. This is GinaK's Stormy Sky, and this is her Bubblegum Pink. This measures 4 3/8 by 6 3/8, and then I have a piece of white cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and a whole bunch of little pieces, parts, various shapes, sizes in pink, gray, and black and white. All right, I'm going to get started. And first, I'm just moving my card aside. I'm going to start with the inking up of the card. Now, I have not used these paper pouncers. I'm just going to, yeah, it's a little wiggly. And I don't know how this is going to do, so I'm going to stamp it off. Oh, okay, I like that. All right, whoop, and it came right off the handle. All right, these were gifts. So now I'm just going to put some circles here and there. Maybe one coming off the side. Make it like a polka dotted card. All right. That was actually kind of fun. I think it's a cheap pouncer, but this will work. Now, I'm going to use her Twirl It Gingham stencil, but I'm not going to twirl it. I'm just going to do random here and there. And I'm going to use soft stone for that. So I need my gray brush. And this is kind of like abstract shapes in itself. I'm just going to put them here and there. Oh, maybe a little off to this side. Okay, that looks good to start with that one. Now, I did pull out another stencil. I don't have too many of hers that are just geometric shapes, but I have this Summer Bouquet layering stencil. And I thought these circles and a couple of the leaves could look like geometric shapes. So I'm going to try some of these dots here and there. And I'm going to use Stormy Sky, which is a darker gray, and just do some dots. And I do want to mask that off. Let's see if I had a sticky note. Well, I'll just grab a well-used piece of masking magic and ink this off. Hold that off. And I'm going to kind of put them where the circles are. Kind of keep the circles together. All right, and now I think I will get the pink and do a few leaves, but not really leaves, if you know what I mean. I don't even know what I mean, so what am I saying? I just want to use this. And I have some ink on my pouncer. I'm going to try to use that. I don't know how that'll work for this. Oh, okay. That's actually kind of cool. Just random placement, and I'll use up whatever ink is on here. And then I think a couple down here, and then I can start filling in with some geometric shapes. That's not looking so weird so far. Okay, then let me pull up. Got some of these that look like corners. I wonder if I put that in the corner, because then that will blend right into the corner background here. All right. I'm just going to put them down randomly just to see a placement or an idea. No, I have a couple corners. They don't have to be in the corner. I have trouble with random, if you haven't noticed. I am more of a put it in its place kind of girl. Need a little bit more black in there. It's looking pretty wild, I've got to admit. Okay, get some of these gray. And I can cut them. Let's see. Let's make this narrower and angled. Let's see. Need some pink down here, I think. Now I'm going to do more to this. Maybe if I do 2 pink corners and see if I have a little. Okay, let's see. I put that there. Okay, I think that's what I want to do. So let me get this glued down. I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on here, and I want to emboss this background. I'm going to angle that one. I don't know why. This one needs a little bit more glue right there. And I'll trim that one off. Now, when Gina's husband was doing his card, he just kind of put them down as he went. He glued them and placed them, and that's what he went with. I do have difficulty with that. But I think doing an abstract card is kind of cool. And it's kind of fun to play around with. All right. And I'll change this as I go, probably. Yeah, we're going to go right across like that. And this gray was left over from when I cut out the piece of the center panel. It was just odds and ends. And when I cut it down using Master Layouts 8, it gave this nice little, and it actually has an embossed edge. All right, so I'll put the black one down first. And I want to, I'm just cutting a little notch out of it. I don't know why. Maybe I want to put the notch Yeah, the notch on the corner. Kind of like looks like a little check mark. Now get this corner down. This is a good one for using up scraps. And I need to get some white in here also. Well, it needs a little black down there. Just that piece right there. Yep, just that little piece. Okay, now for a stamp, this is from Everything Brighter, and I kind of like these random marks. And I'm thinking, I like that swirl, that long swirl, and then a couple of these. I'm just going to use my black ink, Ursuline Claire Nocturne, on just a plain old regular stamping block. If they come out, they come out. This is supposed to look abstract, so this is going to be an abstract. I'm going right over the paper. It's definitely looking abstract. And I'm actually kind of liking it. All right. Now, clean this one off. It's my tidy towel. And then I do like this long one for over here on the side. I just think that, I know it's supposed to be a leaf, but I'm going to use it upside down, I think. And you know, I'm going to do one in the Bubblegum Pink first, just to see how that looks. And then I can put another one right beside it in black. Oh, that's kind of cool. I'll throw a couple in the Bubblegum Pink in here. This may end up looking quite, definitely quite abstract. All right. And then I think I'm going to do a couple of these in black. Let me put the lid back on the Bubblegum Pink. And I'm going to go right over here with the black. And then I want, oh, definite abstract here. Okay, we're going to chill it with that one. And I want to do a little bit more. This is actually kind of fun. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to do a couple of these little, I know these are supposed to be leaves, but they look like little teardrops. And I'm just going to do those in soft stone. And if they are just on here, not perfectly stamped, that's okay. Okay, done with the inking, etc., etc. All right. I don't want to go too overboard, though this is really fun. You guys need to try this, whether you join the challenge and possibly win a gift card or not. It's just kind of a fun thing to play with. This would be great for kids. I'm going to trim off this corner. Well, and for kids of all ages. All right, now I'm going to put a piece of white on here. And I have this white strip that I want to stamp a sentiment on, but first I want to emboss this. Now I have not used, see, this is GinaK's tapestry embossing folder that I want to go down over the top of this with. And I've not used her folder to know what my sandwich will be. So I'm going to try my plain sandwich, which is my metal shim, the embossing folder, and then the A plate. So let's see if this works. And I think it's working. Okay. Oh, I like. That is definitely so pretty. All right. Well, it may not be pretty in a, in a sense, but it is so neat. Yeah. All right. So this will go on, and I'm going to put this on the gray, and I covered it up. My desk is now just a horrendous mess. And that will go right onto that gray. Now I'm going to trim a little bit because when you emboss, and it kind of smushes the paper out just a hair. At least for me it does. And so I don't want any of the white cards showing behind like this black or the gray, and a little bit smushed out. So I'm just going to trim. That's been my experience, at least. Embossing kind of stretches your paper slightly. Now I'm going to glue this down. To the front of this. Get that as centered as I can and as straight as I can. That looks good. Okay. Now this will go on my card base. And I'm just going to put this flat. Whoop. Not on the inside. This goes on the outside of the card. But I am going to do the inside. I have decided. All right. I'm just going to set this off to the side, and I'm going to put a little weight on it. I'm going to use my large acrylic block. All right. Now I have a piece of this gray that I think is the exact same size. So I'm going to put this down just to give it a solid base. And that fits perfectly. I couldn't have planned that better if I tried. All right, now, kind of like this black, but I want to twist it. Have some of the circle going one way and some coming the other. I don't remember what I was cutting out to get this shape. Maybe some mountains or something. Don't really know. Okay, trim that off. Let's see, what do I have here? Not a lot of black left, but I've got a whole bunch of pink scraps that I can do something with. I like that pink corner. And I think I'll cut another pink corner. Just cut. I don't want to use that. Oh, there's some little, when I cut out words, there's little squiggles. Okay, and I like the squiggle shapes. So I'm just going to choose them in here randomly. And then I'm going to partial emboss this. Let's see. That's a funky looking one. Let's get that one in there. Put these down and then I'll throw some pink stripes on it. Now this looks weird. This is definitely not my style. Let's cut this one into just some pieces like this. I'm just going to try and do it like it's looking like a little cross coming down, crisscross. Or do I want to? No, I want to go a little more abstract. My brain goes to the, let's put it in a pattern. That one flew off, so we'll use this one. And I think I want to get the one stamp. Let's see, where did that one go? I think I'll put this one. And I will put it in, I'm going to try Stormy Sky to see if it will show up on here. Yes, it will. And I'm just kind of going to go down, do a less of a, less abstract on the inside. Yeah, we'll just go that way. All right. Clean that off. Lost my tidy towel. Boy, I've got to clean off my desk. I tell you that. Okay. Get some of these scraps off. And where did that little tidy towel go? I don't know, so I'll just set that aside for now. All right, now I'm going to partial emboss this. And I think I can do it on this plate. No, I'm going to need to use my larger set. Because I want to get that tapestry pattern on here too. Yeah, I haven't found my tidy towel. All right, so I need my metal shim. And I'm only going to emboss this side. And run that through. Well, what got stuck in it? I'm going to have to turn it sideways. It doesn't like going through. I had to pull it out and turn it this way. It didn't like going through the wrong way. Come on. There we go. Now that's something I have not had before. It doesn't like the embossing folder this way. It wanted it that way. The machine actually spit it out in reverse. Okay. Wow, that cut off the edge of my paper there too. So what I'll do is just trim this off. And just center this on the inside. All right. That is so pretty. Yeah, don't really need that white on there. There was one point in my life where I would have thrown that away and started over, but it is not necessary. It just fits right in there. And I'm just going to use this to hold it down while it dries and get my sentiment going. Now, I did cut out a Poly-Glaze, Ascending Love. And this is from GinaK's Delicate Dahlias. And I want to add On Your Birthday to that white strip. And then just cut that down to size. So I'll get out my stamping platform. This I did in pink foil. And it's a Poly-Glaze sheet that matches that set. And I'm going to put that on there. And On Your Birthday, we're going to add right to that strip. And I'll use my VersaFine Claire. Perfect. All right. Okay, now let's figure out where to put this on here. And how I want to trim this down. Do I want to leave it all the way across, which is a little off center? Or do I want to add, I think I want to arrow this. Let's make that an arrow. I'm going to try. Okay, so I know I want this down here. It's this that I think it needs to be on another shape. I didn't cut that straight. And I'm going to pop this up with a foam strip. So I'm going to use 2 of them because these are awful skinny. You actually have to take the backing paper off in order for it to stick. There we go. Okay, On Your Birthday, we'll go right, I want that right to the edge. Now this definitely needs to be on another shape. Let's make, if I can, kind of an abstract, triangular, odd thing. That's a little too wide. It's a little too abstract, too square. This may not look good. No, I'm just going to cut it down like a shadow layer behind this. I think it just needs a little something, but not a lot. A little bit of black, but not a lot. So I'm just kind of fussy cutting around the letters. And I think that'll make the biggest difference. Not a big fussy cutter. But then look, you got all these other little scraps you can put on another card. I do like that. I think right there. It's all right. Let me glue this down. And then I'm going to pop that up with some foam dots. And then we're going to add some rhinestones. Of course. And I have some little foam dots here. These dots are a little taller than the foam strip I used on the On Your Birthday, so this will stand up taller. Now I've got glue all over my fingers. Let me just get a wet wipe here. All right. Get these foam backs off. Right there. All right, I'm going to put you on pause while I grab my rhinestones. Okay, I am back. I have some black rhinestones, and then I have my rhinestones that I'm going to color. And I chose a couple of colors. RV288 Mineral Violet, I think will make a nice pretty pink. So I'll do 5 pink. I'm not going to use them all, probably. And then I have BG083, which is a cool gray. And I'll also do 5 gray. All right, so we'll start with the pink ones. I think I'll do 3 pink. Got to get some of the gray ones in here. Yeah. Okay, only 2 gray, and then I'm going to add a couple of black. And I think I'm going to go with the larger size black. Yes, Kenneth. Oh, Mama's almost done, and we'll go back upstairs. Yeah? Okay. That is my card for this challenge. It was really fun to do. Way out of my comfort zone, but I had a lot of fun with it. And that's the inside of the card where I can put my sentiment. Thank you so much for watching. Kenneth says have a great day, and we'll see you on Monday.